So you have a deep, like obviously, clearly you have a deep discography full of groundbreaking albums and scores. But one thing I want to hone in on is Captain Murphy.
Yeah.
Who, like, he's a rap persona, but walk me through the decision to do that album. But also, the thing I want to comment on is the mystique of it all.
Yeah.
Mystique is a very, very tough thing to build. And it only comes around once every so often. We got my guy Doom. We got other cats like who can kind of foster it a little bit, but you know, you pulled off the mystique of it so perfectly, and it was almost like ephemeral. Like it was a moment in time, and people talk about it to this day like a thing that they lived through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like talk about that album.
Yeah, it's funny because there's a part of me that's like, people are like, oh, when are you gonna do another one? And I'm like, I don't know if I should. You know, I think there's a part of it was like that was a cool thing, and if I do another rap project, maybe it's something else, you know. Yeah. But it was just kind of like something I was doing for fun, man. I was hanging around, you know, Earl Sweatshirt a lot and the Odd Future kids, and you know, they were just coming through the studio rapping and stuff, you know, and then they'd be like, they bring their other little homies around, and that, you know, they would jump on the track and like, this cat isn't that good. He ain't that tight. I'm like, man, I could do that, you know. So it was a lot of like, I could do that, and then that led me to just having fun with it and just keeping it for me. And eventually I played it for, you know, my best friend, and he was like, yo, man, it's actually kind of tight. I'm like, really? Oh, shut your mouth. And I started playing stuff for Earl, and he's like, yo, actually, that's kind of, like, shut your mouth, you know. And eventually I was like, all right, I'm gonna just keep having fun with it. And then, you know, the 1 track became 2 tracks, became whole project. And I think a lot of the fun was just, I guess, just creating this thing that was free, you know, didn't have any expectations. I made all this music while I was waiting for, I think, Until the Quiet Comes to come out. I think,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was like in the waiting of the rollout of that. And I was just like, I want to do something, put something out like while I'm sitting around waiting. And it was just like, that was the vibe. I was like, let me just do something totally different. Yeah. And I think those projects came out super close to each other. Just because of, you know, how it all unfolded. But
so, and speaking of how it all unfolded,
yeah.
like this was a question for later, but since we're here now,
here we are.
Because we're going to get into more of the LA beat scene stuff in a minute.
Okay.
But you unveiled the persona at
Low End Theory.
Low End Theory. My theory about you unveiling that persona there is that you did this album just to entertain yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, and you unveiled it there to freak people out there. And then it's like, well, we're done with that now. Let's move on to something else. I say that because in my research for the Low End Theory, it just felt like, Low End Theory felt like I wasn't there. So I'm just speaking as a person who was very intrigued with like the LA beat scene and how it was happening. Yeah. But Low End Theory had this feeling of like school. You go away and come back with your class project and show the room, and you show your closest friends, and your closest friends on stage like, oh, this is crazy. Wait, is this you? Yeah. And the kids in the crowd don't know that they're just witnessing y'all entertaining each other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit different to that. There was some of that energy. I think for me, I think in a lot of ways it was a mistake to do that.
To reveal it on the stage?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I think it was a mistake in a lot of ways because I felt like instantly it put pressure on me. Whereas before there was no pressure. Yeah. I could just create in a vacuum, and you know, some people dig it, whatever. And I can just keep building on that and, you know, create a narrative or whatever if I wanted to around the character. But you know, it's me, it changes things. But I think it was in a weird way, like looking back on it, I think in a weird way there was like a lot of ego that made me do that. It was like, because there were people who were like claiming that they were Captain Murphy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I knew there were people who were assuming it was somebody else.
There are people assuming, and there are people that are claiming that they were, and then there was like, you know, I think it was just a lot of pressure around, you know, performance and stuff. Yeah. I wanted to be able to do shows. I was so hyped to put this thing out. I want to be able to jump on stage and rap, you know? But in a weird way, I felt like when I did that, it just was like, oh, now it's like this other thing and whatever. But would I change it all? I don't know. But it was I think, inspiring to see that space where see the mystique thing and, you know, ride with that for a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I do have more of that music. I've been recording some other stuff that's
Oh,
similar, so
couple,
maybe there'll be more.
couple bars, some bar work. I
Yeah,
mean, he's popped
yeah,
up time and time again.
yeah.
But you know, like just to put a button on that, as a casual observer and somebody that's like just has no, you know, connection to it, I really enjoy, just I said it before, the ephemeral quality of it. I enjoy how it felt like a moment in time. It's not on streaming. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Samples, yeah.
sample. But, you know, like within that, it just feels like a if you know, you know kind of thing.
Yeah, and I
And
like that. I
it-
like that a lot. And there's a part of me that just wants to like let it be. You know, we're not pressing any more vinyl. I just want it to like, yeah, to be there. And if there's another moment, then that we'll see what happens.
It's important, and also like he still exists. Like he'll pop up on things.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
not like a shove to the back thing kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's just really cool that you're willing to take those kind of like risks as an artist.
Thanks.
Put things into the world and be like, okay, you guys go find it. It's an Easter egg. I got coming.
Yeah, man. You know, as long as there's other things. You know, if that was like my only project, then I'd be like, oh God, I gotta make sure everyone sees it. But I
Yeah.
had a whole album coming out then, so it worked out really nicely, I think.